Greetings all! Today, we will be examining the common normal-type Pokemon Lillipup, the Puppy Pokémon, its relatively common evolution Herdier, the Loyal Dog Pokémon, and its final, relatively rare evolution Stoutland, the Big-Hearted Pokémon. Though they might not outwardly look to be among the most dangerous of canine Pokémon, the members of the Lillipup family are nonetheless loyal creatures that can make perfect partners for novice trainers looking to start out on their own Pokemon journey. Lillipup possess a traditional canine form with 4 legs, large ears, and a small tail, with 3 toes on each of their paws. They are coated with dark brown hair on their body with lighter shades on their fluffy face hair, as well as possessing a dark patch of blue-black fur on their back. They have large, grayish eyes with a very small mouth and a small, cute-looking red nose. Their evolved form, Herdier, possess the same overall body form and color scheme on their fur as Lillipup, though their face hair is much fluffier now and has a mustache-like form to it near the mouth, with a 3-part fur crest on their forehead. Their nose is larger and a black color now, and the entirety of their back and tail is covered with a blue-black hearted mat of fur designed to offer them superior defenses compared to their pre-evolved form. Their final evolution, Stoutland, are much larger in size and now possess sharp claws on their paws and larger fangs perfect for dealing damage in battle, and their coat has become much thicker as a whole. Their upper backs are still coated in a mat of blue-black fur, complete with hair of the same color on the inside of their ears, but their undersides are also now coated in a thick layer of clay blue hair that obscures most of their frame. The mustache-like form of hair that was on their face as Herdier has grown immensely in size while retaining the same basic color, trailing down and past the front of their body towards their back end, lightening in color as one reaches the end of the tassel-like hair growths. The members of the Lillipup family are among the most loyal of Pokemon known, even more so than Pokemon like Growlithe, and have been specially bred over many generations in order to be so. These creatures were originally bred and developed in the grassy fields of England, but were imported to places like the Unova region in the 1800s and other regions at a later date, being used as both pets and hunting companions. They are much more closely related to non-Pokemon canines than other types of Pokemon, so their behavior very much matches that of the traditional dogs that most people are familiar with. These creatures are incredibly loyal towards their owners and will gladly protect them with their very lives, and are intelligent and obedient enough that they are often used by people to train other Pokemon, further making them a popular choice for police forces where Pokemon like Growlithe are not readily available. They have even been used as rescue animals in some cases, using their impressive odor and movement detection abilities to sniff out and rescue people, animals, and Pokemon alike from dangerous environments, and overall helping to keep their local communities safe and secure. As a whole, this makes these canines perfect candidates for Pokemon for novice trainers just starting out on their journey, and while they do tend to get more protective of their owners as they evolve, they are still reliable companions that can definitely help make an impact on any team, though they are limited in only being capable of naturally learning physical attacks and have limited power to use even if they are taught some form of special offense. As far as their abilities go, these creatures demonstrate some key differences between Lillipup and the rest of the family. In the case of Lillipup, these creatures are generally very upbeat and curious and tend to like looking around and exploring the environment a lot, hence why they can have access to Vital Spirit and Pickup as base abilities. In addition, though they are brave, these creatures are smart enough to know when to run from a fight, and thus can possess Runaway as a hidden ability. Their evolutions, Herdier and Stoutland, on the other hand, are more well known for their rambunctious and protective natures, and are able to make good use of their bodies to both scare off others and utilize their paws to run at high speeds even when in the presence of soft dirt, which their fur naturally repels, granting them access to Intimidate and Sand Rush as base abilities and Scrappy as a hidden ability. In terms of stats, in the case of Stoutland, while these beasts can certainly prove to be powerful fighters in the right circumstances, their large coat makes them a bit slower than some might like, and their stamina isn't quite high enough to be of particular note, Plus, their special offenses are incredibly limited, resulting in them having below average base HP, special attack, and speed stats for a fully evolved normal type Pokemon. On the other hand, they can definitely hit hard with the physical attacks they get access to, and their thick coat helps to provide them with abnormally high defensive stats, so their base attack, defense, and special defense stats are above average for a fully evolved Pokemon of their type. As such, while these dogs might not seem like a threat at first, they can still take punishment surprisingly well and more than deliver with powerful physical attacks that can more than prove bothersome in close quarters fights. Lillipup are definitely among the friendliest and easy to train Pokemon that trainers can start their journeys out with, and make great pets for people living in apartment buildings as they almost never yelp or make loud noises unless it's an absolute emergency. But it is noted that there are two important things that trainers need to keep in mind when taking care of these creatures. For one thing, special care must be taken to ensure that the hair on their face is taken care of on a constant basis, as these dogs actually need the whiskers on their face. You see, these hairs are packed with sensory nerves at their base that allow these creatures to use the hair on their face as a mobile radar system, detecting subtle changes in surrounding air currents in order to help track down items, prey, and opponents alike, and they need these hairs to properly predict what actions an opponent might be making. It also serves to amplify their hunting prowess and make them good hunting dogs even at a young age, so care is needed to ensure that this special power is not wasted or eliminated due to the hair becoming matted or otherwise incapable of doing its job. Secondly, while these dogs are very courageous and steadfast and will stand their ground against almost any type of strong opponent, at the same time, they are intelligent enough to realize when they are at a serious disadvantage and don't stand a chance. And when this happens, they will quickly turn tail and run away. This is a survival mechanism that makes them hard to work with when the odds are stacked against them, but otherwise acts to help keep them from going into a fight where they are likely to get seriously hurt, helping to at least reduce the chances of one needing to use a Pokemon Center or wasting valuable healing items on them after a tough battle. While evolution causes these creatures to lose their cute demeanor and in turn ready access to the baby doll eyes technique, Herdier are incredibly loyal canines that have been around in some form or another for a very long time, as ancient murals on cave walls discovered in their original native environment of England have shown portrayals of humans alongside these beasts. While they remain loyal to their original owners for the most part, these creatures are notably more vicious and headstrong compared to Lillipup, and will only obey their owner if they respect them and what they can do with the creatures in a fight, otherwise loudly barking at them and strangers they are unfamiliar with. Although they might not gain any new special tricks in evolution, these canines are protected better against assaults as a result of the hard mat of hair that covers most of their back. This hair is constantly covered in glue-like sweat that these creatures excrete that helps to fuse individual hairs together and strengthen their overall form, creating an almost literal shell of hair on their body that helps to protect them against attack. This hardened mat is strong enough that most claws and fangs cannot penetrate it, which only leaves the front of their body vulnerable to attack, and that is rarely a good thing for opponents, since that is where most of the attacks they possess will be executed from. This can help these creatures survive fairly well in the wild as a result, and definitely serves to make them useful dogs to have on one side if some sort of unconventional defense is needed to make it through a battle. Though it is noted that the hair's matted state and the fact that it is constantly growing can make it a pain to trim and groom, thus making Herdier a bit difficult to raise and take care of. Stoutland, as the final adult stage of the Lillipup family, are powerful beasts that possess larger claws and fangs compared to the other members of their family, and are able to wield the latter with such efficiency that they can gain access to the Fire Fang, Thunder Fang, and Ice Fang attacks as soon as they evolve, though a bit of artificial help may be required to get them used to using these moves in a fight. While their personalities continue to grow gruffer in this state, these creatures are incredibly kind and have never been known to outright attack others for any reason, which has led some parents to trust them so much that they will employ the dogs as babysitters when they are away instead of hiring an actual human to do the job. However, these dogs are truly more set apart from other canines by the thick, shaggy coat of hair that covers their body. This thick coat not only acts as a superb source of defense for the beasts, with it being hardened in some places as seen with Herdier, but it also acts as a great form of insulation against extreme cold. This has made them perfect candidates as rescue animals in frigid mountainous environments and even in the cold open ocean, as even the fiercest of blizzards or coldest of waters will do little to slow them down. In fact, their coat is so warm that anyone that snuggles with it is said to be able to keep warm and survive even if they are exposed in the open cold. And in olden times, every family that lived in such conditions would always have a Stoutland at home, ready to keep younger family members warm in the worst of frigid conditions. On that same note, however, this coat can also make it difficult for these creatures to survive in extremely hot environments, as they tend to overheat rather quickly, making them as a whole fairly uncomfortable in places like the Alola region. But keeping them inside when the temperature spikes is usually enough to deter this problem for the most part. While they might not have the adorable looks that their pre-evolutions possessed, Stoutland are still powerful animals that can more than make themselves a threat worth noticing, and definitely not worth underestimating, especially with natural access to powerful attacks like Reversal, Giga Impact, and Play Rough at their disposal at higher levels of experience. Loyal to the extreme, and more than capable of throwing out powerful strikes in close quarters, the members of the Lillipup family are useful creatures that can make great companions for young and old alike, and more than make good use of their physical offenses in combat. They might take a while to mature into their adult form compared to other canine Pokémon, but the surprising power they can strike with, and the unique versatility Stoutland in particular have with their fangs, can potentially still make the long wait worthwhile. Just do yourself a favor, and make sure that, if you come across one of these beasts, that you treat them kindly and with respect. They might not directly attack you in most cases if they are well trained or fully evolved, but it's unlikely that they will leave your clothes intact if they are seriously provoked, leaving you to run around looking ridiculous, with your clothes shredded to bits and barely covering any part of you that the public would likely rather not see. Thank you all for watching this video. It is always an honor to be able to speak with you all on the subject of Pokemon in a way that brings me great joy and happiness in my work. If you would like to keep tabs on past and future work, click that subscribe button, check out my work on DeviantArt, and don't be shy about following me on Twitter, where you can find pertinent announcements on upcoming work before it is officially posted. Links to both can be found in the video description. If you would like to support my work and help Miguel and I continue to produce more content for you and improve upon our presentation, please visit us at my Patreon page, which you can also find a link to in the video description. With that, I thank you for watching and I wish you well.